You're watching Straight Black Love Talk with your host, DC Radical One, the home of intelligent, mature relationship conversations.
Greetings, friends, family, allies, and of course, enemies. I'm your host, DC Radical One, and this is SBL Talk, and it's been a long time. So forgive me if I am rusty. Um, while I try to get myself together. But today is a special day because we have the return of one of my and your favorites. Sister Najai will be joining us tonight, I believe, at 7:30. So, brother, you got ripped off of you. You can hear me. Let me know. Um, so I know everything is clear. And thank you for sending out the notifications as well. I am trying to send out some things as well and clear up some things on my end. Um, so I'm just trying to make sure everything is solid before we begin. All right, thank you, brother. So, all right. Yeah, it's been a long time. So, let me answer the first question, which is where have I been? Why have I not been making content? Well, a lot of things that happened last month. I plan to do a lot of stuff for Black August, but Black August became a transitionary period for myself in a lot of ways. Um, the brother said, "Allies, the straight people have such a thing." Yeah, other straight people in different parts of the world. That's it. That's it. Um, August became a transitionary period for me, and while I was trying to arrange some things and see what my schedule would be and things like that, um, YouTube and YouTube and Instagram have been playing. They've been up to some shenanigans. Uh, they've changed their algorithms. Um, both of them. They change their algorithms regularly. My social media following has diminished in both aspects. I'm having they've been like demonetizing some of my older content, which is why I didn't start off with advertisements, because I have to go through ads and see and search through. There's some ads they're demonetizing because of music, which means I'm going to have to let the people know, sponsors know, um, what music they apparently can't use, or more than likely edit it myself and then find some what I feel is appropriate music. Um, so that's been going on. They have not been pushing out my content to the people who actually are subscribed. I don't know what that's about. I don't feel like even talking about it. And Instagram has been doing some weird shenanigans as well, where people who I normally follow don't see my stuff, and people who I follow I don't see their stuff. So there are people I don't even know that I don't even know they're still on it on Instagram, but they are. So that's part of it. I've always been upfront. My goal has always been to get to the point where the channel pays for itself. Um, and we have not arrived there. We've been close. We've had a personal backer of the channel. I'll say that. But as a whole, as far as like the having the audience, the views, and things like that to back the channel, that has not been the case. We have our support has decreased as Black people have become, one, more anti-African, and two, gayer. By the way, there are no ads on this tonight's show, so we're just gonna tell it like it is. So as people have become gayer, Black people, and more tolerant of it, straight Black pride and the straight Black pride concept has received less support in America. We will. I've got some slides that I'm going to do until. I got some slides that I'm going to do until 7:30, and then the sister will come on. But I just got a couple of slides that kind of intro in, and then she has a presentation that she plans to do. So thank you. Post break. I don't know if that's a brother or sister, but yeah, we're back, and I was just explaining why. Part of the reason I've been away is multiple reasons, and so we're being completely honest. We're ice skating uphill, right? The message that we have is a message that they don't want anyone, but specifically Black people, to have publicly, to spread and to believe in. And so everything that you see on social media, not everything, of course, I'm being hyperbolic, but most of what you see is anti-straight Black pride propaganda, right? Because as I have, Baba Kamal Cambone's words have been ringing in my ears lately. And I think I told a brother this, and it has stuck in my mind since, like a song. They want to kill you, but they want to make money off your death process, right? He said that 20 years ago or so. And I have to get that clip. I have to load that up. I had to get that so I can load it up. Thank you, brother. You got ripped off. Basically, brother, you got ripped off with the welcome back president. But yeah, but they want to. I mean, they're not even really pretending anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're not pretending anymore. I mean, Bill Gates talks about depopulation all the time. And brother, you got ripped off. I guess you felt that this was so important that I get this intro off that you didn't even tell me that I don't have music on. Hey, it's been a long time. At least the Cashapp and whatnot is up. But yeah, I didn't get music. Let me get that together while I start my opening rant, if you will. Let's see. This is somewhere. Yeah, cool. All right, I like this. But yeah, so that's what's going on. But am I or we going to stop creating content? No. Are we or I going to stop organizing? Are we or I going to stop fighting? No, because I'm breathing. So as long as I'm breathing, I will be doing what I do. Duty of a civilized man is to teach civilization, righteousness, knowledge of self, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. Right? That's what I was taught when I was a teenager. Some things you don't forget, right? So what we're going to do, because it's been a long time, and I was trying to wait for some people to come in, but hey, we have here who we have. Say, get some feedback. Okay, give me a second. It may well be the condition of the mic itself. But I will settings. Hey, brother, know how that goes. I want to get into our straight black oath because it seems like it's, as Rock Kemp would say, it's been a long time. And I want you all to recite after me. And if you come to watch this late, you can recite. It says straight black pride pledge. It says, I pledge allegiance to my straight black and proud ancestors and to the culture and traditions which they founded. I vow to practice those traditions of straight black love, family building, and nation building to the best of my ability, using all my life's energy, intelligence, and creativity. I also vow to do everything in my power to protect black men, black women, and especially black children from sexual abuse, homosexuality, exploitation, and miseducation, as long as I am mentally, physically, and spiritually able. Lastly, I vow to fight against any force, physical foe, ideology, or philosophy which threatens the straight, black, and proud culture, regardless of origin. This I pledge in the name of my African ancestors and the divine creator. Ashe. So you got ripped off. Remind me at some point to format this in a way, in a long format, and to put it on Instagram and YouTube shorts. That's because. So, back to the subject. Really, let me just say this. I do got a handful of slides, but I'm just got some things I got to get off my chest. I could be wrong about what I'm about to say, but y'all know a lot of times what I say publicly, I hope to be wrong about, but I'm usually not. This is one of those cases. Here's the reality of the situation. We are facing an existential threat from an enemy who hides in plain sight. Say, DC, what do you mean enemy hides in plain sight? What I'm saying is the enemy appears just like our most vicious and dangerous enemies, but he has a different agenda from them, but will utilize them to destroy us, to get us to fight them, so that we never get to him, right? I'm seeing the Lord. So, filling of Sauron, Lord is the Lord of everything. Sauron never seen except for in a flashback, physically fighting, right? So in the flashback, Sauron is defeated, but he returns. When he returns, we don't see him in physical form in the movie. What do we see? We see orcs, trolls, ogres, Balrogs. I don't think there's any dragons in that trilogy. But what I'm saying is we see servants of Sauron, right? And they're committing all types. Okay, now the brother's saying, but these are servants of evil. The evil itself isn't seen in physical form. Brother, you saying you think the mic is a mic issue? I mean, that's highly possible. Hold on. It's just possible how the mic is placed. So I'm adjusting that. And as the movie goes on, you understand that Sauron is manipulating everything that goes on. So he has all these armies. He has these people from all over, Middle Earth as it is, and he doesn't have to do the physical fighting because he has manipulated everything in order to achieve his goal. Right? Similar to Star Wars, where we, like in the original Star Wars, you see the Emperor and everybody talk about how powerful the Emperor is, and all this, and everyone, literally shaking in their boots when they see it. But we don't get to see his power until the last movie, Return of the Jedi, the original trilogy. In that same manner that you have to fight stormtroopers or orcs, trolls, and ogres, whatever else. Right. Yeah, and Saruman, who's supposed to be on the good side, he working with the evil too. So as black people, yeah, we know all about that. You're going to seek counsel with somebody that's supposed to be wise amongst you, and they working for the other team. I ain't gonna say no names, right? We got a lot of Sarumans running around here, siding with Sauron while they supposed to be, on outside with Gandalf and Elrond and Aragorn and Felicity, right? So you think that we got some mannequins running around? We think that they're supposed to be the brightest among us, and then next thing you know, they turn on us in the key moment and side with the dark side of the Force. We got some of that, right? So I point all that out to say is that I have accepted is that we have enemies amongst us, and they will. Some of them are unwitting agents, and some are witting agents, and they will do whatever they can as long as it benefits them to destroy us and destroy our movements, destroy our organizations, and destroy our capacity to do what's necessary to survive. And much like the Rebel Alliance and the Fellowship of the Ring and these other groups, we are at a decided disadvantage fighting against an overwhelming enemy. And yet, like those groups, we will defeat our enemies. But we have to first accept the fact that one, we have enemies, and two, they want to kill us, but they want to make money off of our death process. Once we accept that, we can start moving forward. So, let me get to these slides real quick, because I'm this close to chopping into the sisters' time. I always put this up, and I'm always put it up. And when I'm gone, somebody takes over the show in whatever form it takes in later into the 21st century, they'll put it up. In traditional African and traditional African American culture, marriage was an expected, man, what is happening? Part of adulthood. In many African societies, you were not considered an adult if you were not married. The family was considered the foundational institution of the society. There was no debate about the equality of men and women, as each had their jobs to do for the society. When you are actually doing what is necessary for the survival of the nation, you don't have time to debate who does what, because the duties, rights and duties have been passed down from the previous generation. And brother says, like the construction workers who installed a 15-minute city tech but claim I'm just doing my job. That's right. That's right. Police tell us they doing their job all the time, and then they shoot us in the back. So apparently shooting us in the back is part of their job. Let me put that up, brother. You got ripped off. Brother, you got ripped off. Did I even put up your I don't know, let's put this up. Brother says it's a time to try out fan base. Possibly. I don't even know anything about it. So it's possible. I've seen the brother talking about it. Of course, we had our own thing we were supporting for years. As I have said ad nauseum at this point, it's access to capital that determines whether or not a firm or an idea or app or whatever the case may be survives or not. It's really that simple. You know, there are a lot of ideas that Black people have had that were viable, that were not able to be properly monetized, and thus did not survive. There are also a lot of ideas that Black people had that weren't of real value that have thrived because other people had interest in making them thrive. One thing I have accepted of late is that there's no such thing as, in this day and time, as an organic popular influencer. It's just not a thing. These people are not organic. They are picked from among the talented and then elevated to a point because they are doing the job that needs to be done, and they're unwitting collaborators in the destruction of our people by simply distracting from what needs to be said and done. Right? So let's get to this next slide. The feminization prelude to extermination. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was the person, to my knowledge, that coined the phrase, the feminization of the Black male. BB48 to Sister Simone. So that's to my understanding and knowledge, right? Now, if it wasn't her, the only other person it could have been is Barbara Neely Fuller. But she wrote a book on, she wrote it as part of her book, part of her manifesto, and she put it in as part of her, one of her theorems on the Black community, right? And the destruction of the family. And most of the things that she said and predicted as far as the destruction of the family, the attack on the Black male, the destruction of the Black male, and the consequences thereof, we now see she was 100% right and exact. Now, let's get to the slide. And by the way, the reason, you know, for years I've been teaching now, I've been using slides, and I've been using a lot of words and less pictures. And we see now that people can't read. So this is part reading program for adults. To help adult illiteracy, because we see. I mean, those cue cards are exposing people. That's all I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Every effeminized or homosexualized Black male is one less potential soldier fighting on the side of African liberation. There is absolutely no history of Black homosexuals utilizing organized violence in defense of the Black nation. What's the key word in this statement? The key word in this statement is what? Organized. I don't even call it violence when it's self-defense. But I have to make it clear, because in today's time, there's a lot of attempting to achieve freedom without physical violence. And there's no such thing. Minister Malcolm X told us 60 years ago, there's no such thing as a nonviolent revolution. Many times the tools that you need to use to undo what was done are to do it more extreme than what was done. There's an African proverb that talks about bending the reed all the way in the opposite direction to straighten it up. So if overwhelming force was used to put you in a condition of subjugation, then overwhelming force is going to have to be used to put you in a position of domination. These are just the facts. And there is no cited history of homosexualized or effeminized males organizing for the defense of the black nation, meaning what? Black man, black woman, and black child. And a brother you got ripped off says, if you're nonviolent or your enemy's nonviolent with you, if no, then nonviolence doesn't work. If you're subject to the whims of your enemy, whatever means you're using at that time doesn't work. Robert Huey P. Newton says, an unarmed people are slaves or subject to slavery at any time. I mean, that observation was astute, profound, and correct. And from a nation state point of view, being unarmed in the modern state means not having nuclear weapons. We see what's going on with Iran right now. Their ballistic missiles have been enough to defend them largely from the attack of two nuclear armed nations. So what are the nuclear armed nations saying? We might have to use nuclear weapons. So what is then the only solution for Iran at that point? Is to have nuclear weapons. Because if they have nuclear weapons, then suddenly the use of nuclear weapons by the United States and Israel isn't so palatable to Israel, especially because Israel knows that Iran's weapons can find them. There's no question. They already know that. Literally all they have to do is put nuclear warheads or hypersonic missiles and Israel ceases to exist. And being completely honest, if Iran wasn't using the Palestinians as a human shield, Israel might already have been obliterated. But that's a different show. But if anyone wants to tell me of a time in our recorded history where effeminized and homosexualized males organized for the defense of the community and went and struck the blow of liberation by use of physical force against Europeans, Asians, and Arabs, cite me the sources. Because as the Supreme Wisdom Lesson say, I beg your pardon, I never heard of such. Now, by nature, homosexualized males place their sexuality over their Africanity or blackness. Their sexual appetite takes primacy over racial uplift. This is self-explanatory in my book. The fact that you have the desire to either A, bend over and give evil an opening, or B, to plant yourself in the backside of your would-be brother means that you have no interest in nation building and doing the work to save our people from being wiped out. How you gonna organize with brothers if you sitting around searching for the next bedroom companion? Before they straight black pride, brother Elijah, right? I told y'all we don't have real talk. There's no clean way to talk about a dirty subject. That's why we don't. That's why we don't have no sponsors. We don't have no commercials. We don't have none of that tonight. Just straight talk. And Sister Najai, let me know when you're ready, and I'll speed up through these. Also, homosexual males, by definition, are less interested in family building and nation building, thus leading to population decrease. Now, here is something, a slight contradiction to that. There are homosexual males. Yes, sir, brother. Genocidal practice. I believe that's a brother. If not, my apologies. Now, here's a slight contradiction. There are confused males who are interested in being with women to prove to themselves that they like women, and they will reproduce with women, but building a family and building a nation are not within the parameters of that, which is one of the hidden reasons why we have broken families, is because there are men who are reproducing who are not interested in family building. They're just trying to prove to themselves that they like women. You see what I'm saying? So it appears as a slight contradiction, but it's just a person trying to prove to themselves something that may not be true. Brother, you got ripped off. You didn't even tell me I got the wrong banner up. It is what it is. The message is more important than the presentation at this time. So let me get to my next slide here. The prey becomes the predator. And this is my last slide. Many, if not most, males who have been homosexualized are former victims of sexual abuse. This is very important because this is the part that nobody wants to talk about. The abusers certainly don't want to talk about it. The victims do not want to talk about it because they feel ashamed. And the number one thing I would say to any survivor is this. One, it is not your fault. You were a child. You did not do anything that would make an adult person seek you out and violate you in that manner. There was no dance that you did, no song that you sung, no clothes that you wore, no thoughts that you had that made a grown adult seek you out and violate you and to use you in an unhealthy manner and touch you in ways that you did not ask to be touched. And even if you had, which you didn't, it's still their responsibility to understand you are a child, they are an adult, and your life is sacred. And that there is no reason for them to do what they did to you other than their own sick, depraved, barbaric mentality. So I want to say that first. Two, the victimized do not have to continue the cycle. Brother Genie, a long time ago, said that sexual abuse is like vampirism. The act oftentimes turns the person into that which attacked them, much like a vampire bites a person, and many times they can become a vampire. Also, sometimes they can become a ghoul, zombie, or other undead creature. Right? So it's a similar phenomenon. Brother, you got ripped off. Say he just watched Chris Hansen interview interviewed Ed P445. I don't know who that is. That dude needs to be relieved of duty. Yeah, I don't know who that is. But yeah. Next. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Did I finish this? No, I didn't finish this. Their behavior. Okay, let me go back to this. Let me go through the whole thing. My bad. Many, if not most, males who have been homosexualized are former victims of sexual abuse. Their behavior is an acting out of, that's written incorrectly, psychosexual trauma. The growing number of homosexualized males is a sign of the growing number of predators in our community. Right? Now, confused males like Saucy Santana and Sydney Starr are prime examples of males preying upon young male children. Starr is currently facing charges of sexual misconduct. Santana was recently caught on camera talking about being desired by children. Only in recent years have men and boys felt comfortable speaking about surviving abuse from both men and women. People finally speaking out is good. The number of people that you see speaking out is a terrible sign for our condition. Sister Najai, are you ready to make your appearance? I know I have gone a little into your time, but I just want to get through those few slides. So let me know when you're ready so I can bring you on. Please. Are you ready, sister? Okay, I thought she was ready, but I can't hear her. Can y'all hear her? Okay, looks like she's still getting ready. But yeah, the Sydney Starr thing, I haven't really. It seemed like the Saucy Santana thing was more people talked about that, but the Sydney Starr thing has seemingly flown under the radar, even though he has been arrested. Maybe that's just my perception. Have any people? Do y'all agree with me, or am I wrong? Have people talking about both at the same time, or is the Saucy Santana thing, was that a bigger thing at the time? I know a lot of people have moved on to other stuff, but y'all tell me. Okay. So y'all let me know. Am I just wrong? Because, okay, brother says I'm not familiar with this. I will probably do a separate video and I'll put videos of these people. I didn't want to, just because the way YouTube has been right now, I didn't want to use nobody else's video, even news footage. I didn't want to use anything like that, and I didn't know what the system was going to present. So, anyway, to sum up, Saucy Santana is a entertainer who basically halfway or sometimes dressed in drag. This stuff's so weird and disgusting. But sometimes he dresses in drag. And he has a song out called Quiet on the Creek, which may well have been the #1 song when it came out. And there's been discussions about what the song is really about. Some people think that the song is about, he said the song is basically about down low men keeping the secret of, well, openly gay men keeping the secret of down low men. Right? I heard that's one interpretation. Other people are saying that the root of the song is about not talking about sexual abuse. So I'm sure if you want to, you can find Quiet on the Creek. Yeah, good luck with that. I can only imagine what the video for that looks like. It's enough, I'm sure enough to make you throw up. As far as Sydney Star, I'm not actually sure what this person is famous for, but they're well known in some communities. I heard the name but never knew what was up. But anyway, this is a full-on transformer who was recently caught and arrested for messing with a 14-year-old boy. So these are the type of people, type of degenerates we're dealing with here. And they're just prime examples of something that we, Straight Black Pride, Irritated Genie, Warner Horizon, have been talking about for decades at this point. Brother Genie's been talking about this as long as I've known him, and he was talking about it way before I knew him. He's written books on it. As far as I'm concerned, he and Baba Garudi are the foremost scholars on the feminization and homosexualization of black males. Brother, You Got Ripped Off said Sydney Star is known for being a rap video vixen. Oh, what? All right, so we have added, our sister is here, and I think we're going to greet her. So we're going to try to greet her with a round of applause as soon as I find the applause meter. Sis Najai, you there?
Oh, BB Fahodie, I am. Can you hear me all right?
BB Fahodie, yes, we can hear you. All right, there's a round of applause for your entrance. My apologies. Apparently, I made some errors. So I delayed your entrance. Do you have anything to add to what we have discussed thus far?
It's a broad question. No, nothing to add. Let's continue.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you back. Yeah, as I was saying, those two individuals are a prime example of the sickness that is in our community that seems to be growing exponentially at this point. Of course, I'm in Washington, D.C., which is which the mayor, or the former mayor now, claims that this is the gay, I believe she says the gayest city in the world, which I'm sure Atlanta and San Francisco were like, well, that's news to us. But to even be in the realm of those two cities is a sign of societal degeneracy to a point of societal collapse. So I'm done with my presentation. Okay, okay, you're in Upper Marlboro. Well, you're far enough away, I hope, that the stench, the foul stench of Sodom and Gomorrah doesn't reach your nostrils, except if you have to work in the city. But but yeah, no, Sister Najai, I do not. So yeah, I was talking with a brother, and we were just saying that we, in our lifetime, we're around the same age. He might be a little bit older, I don't know. We just hadn't seen this level of feminization of black men. It's just, unprecedented. Not in a good way. Sometimes you hear unprecedented, it's like, oh, such and such is unprecedented. Yeah, this is unprecedented. No bueno. You know what I'm saying? Just plain and simple. It's unprecedented. It's not good. And it's just it's not a good look. Not a good look at all. But forgive me for being slightly distracted, because I am trying to do something behind the scenes that is not working. So, Sister Najai, let me. Are you still there? Are you there? Okay. She
Indeed,
not here.
I am. I'm here.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Wells did raise the alarm. It actually in the 80s, the 70s, really. Do me a favor, give the audience a little bit of insight of what you're going to do tonight, and I try to bring in your portion into the space.
Okay, can do. So, Shades of Ghey comes from a theory that has been forming for a long time for me. I have had issues with, specifically, I wanna make a specification. When I speak on Ghey, I am talking about men that like men. I think that means trans too. Not gonna lie, I feel like that's kind of the same thing. But I'm not speaking on like the lesbians and the people that are what they call queer. To me is just confused. So they don't know which letter. They're just out here. I'm not really talking. I'm specifically talking about gay men. I just want to make that clear for everybody, and there's a reason for that, because I'm breaking down the issues that I've been having with gay men since I was in like elementary school. There's always been an energy. There's always been a side eye. There's always been something that's like, we always have friction, whether they are actively flamboyant, or they on the low, or they DL, or they not even gay. It's just men that be crossing the line a little bit too far sometimes. They always have issue with me. And I've seen it manifest in so many different ways over the years that I've begun to break it down and say, wow, there really are different shades. They come in different colors. And so whereas I do think it's blasphemous for them to use the rainbow as their flag, it is also a great representation of all of the foolishness and the various flavors of foolishness that be going on with them. I have a presentation, and I'm so glad that you spoke on how we don't really read anymore, because all of your presentations are Microsoft Wordy. They're very, very, very 12-point font, indent. Like there's a lot of words in your presentation, and I could see how you're losing a younger audience as well as the older audience that maybe can't read it because the font's too small. I think we need to consider that as well moving forward. My presentations are very picture first, very visual, and I don't know, hopefully the audience doesn't have an aneurysm going from one extreme to the next. Hopefully we'll be okay getting into some of these pictures. Let me know if you're going to be able to pull them up, because for the most part, I just need two. I just need 2 slides. let me know. Are you going to be able to do the 2 slides? Or am I going to have to pull them up somehow? I sent a picture or something.
Okay, my apologies. No, we're about to see right now.
Okay.
We are about
Everybody
to see.
close your eyes real quick.
Your job is not to make me laugh at this time. I just want to let you know. It is not to make me laugh. Although you're trying mightily. Let's see. All right. So what I'm about to do is I am about to delete. Here we go.
Boom.
All right. Voila. That's what you need.
We'll see, because it's covering up the bottom half with our profiles.
Okay, we can do something about that.
That.
How about that?
Boom. Perfect.
Okay.
Shades of Ghey. Protecting the community by defining the layers of confusion. This is not simply to bash. This is not to make fun of. This is not for the purpose of, this is not for the purpose of feelings. All of this is because our community needs protection.
By the way, Sister Najai, not to cut you off, but can you up your mic?
No, this is. I'll be louder. I could just be louder, but the mic don't work like that.
No. There's settings in the thing where you can raise the level of your mic.
Settings
in StreamYard.
Audio.
Yeah, you should be able to go to your mic.
It says automatically adjust mic volume.
Okay, mine doesn't automatically. Where'd you go? Did she just disappear? No. Okay, might have human error. Think she disappeared herself. Maybe she's trying to see the settings. We'll get it there. Hey, we're rusty. It's been, as Rakim would say, a long time. I have seen her presentation. Well, I saw it in its early development. I'm not sure where it is now, so I'm as interested as you all are. And unfortunately for me, I only got 45 more minutes. So this may be a part 2, or there may be a part 2 to this. This is a subject, of course, we have talked about for, as I said, so many years that so many things have happened since that I've kind of thought like, excuse me, you almost feel like, all right, well, we're past that, but maybe not. All right, sister, you back? Sister Najai. Okay, I see her, but I don't hear her. But we're back. Myself and Brother Genie were actually, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago now, discussing whether or not this is a renewed assault. And with that, that kind of came to the conclusion that Sister Najai had been wanting to talk about this, like, well, no better time like the present. And that's why we have broached this subject seemingly yet again. And there, Sister Najai was in high spirits and eager to attack this. And thus here we are. All right. Well, I see the sister. Let's see. All right.
There we
Are
go.
you back?
Can
Okay.
you hear me better?
Yes, I thought you could add yourself. So that's my fault. So the last 2 minutes have been my fault. I keep thinking you can add yourself. You used to be able to add yourself. I don't know what's happening. All right. Have at it. I'm listening.
Okay. So what I was saying is purpose of this is because our community needs protection. I'm of course speaking from the perspective of a Black woman that has children. I have a male child. I have a female child. I have cousins. I have aunts and uncles and family, as we all do. And so the issue of protecting our communities is very close to my heart, and I take it immensely serious. Yeah, let's just move forward. Let's just move forward. I think that's enough. We'll go to the next slide. Can we go to the next slide? There we go. Thank you. Okay. This is a polemic presentation. So I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. At the same time, I know that I am, and I know that it's going to come off in a way that our community, like straight Black pride community, may think that, oh, this is a given. This is of course, but I think it's important for us to break it down. This is a presentation of my living theory that not all gays are created equal in threat. They're not all created equal in value and impact on the community. This is not a complete theory, nor is it meant to be used as a definitive measure yet. That is my goal. I would love for this theory to be utilized in the future as a way to measure the immense amount of our community that fall into these categories at this point in time. This is merely the first step in creating a scientific method by which to comprehend our chaotic environment. My goal from this effort is to protect women from Decepticons, men from punkish peer pressures, and children from Yorubu's magnetic pull away from nature. Next slide, please. If you wanted to, unless you wanted to say something, was there anything you wanted to say?
No.
About it? Okay.
Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Decepticons. That's. I mean, all these things are on point. Decepticons, in so many ways, not just with women being deceived, but with men being deceived.
Right.
In a sense of, and it's funny because I had this conversation with a brother. We were speaking, and we were talking about males, smoking, ingesting, with other males, right? Blunts and stuff. And I told the brother, I said, well, here's what's deep. How many times in the past have men used substances, alcohol, whatever, to alter the will or the mindset of a woman in order to quote unquote get her in the mood, right? I said, these dudes that are sitting around smoking with other dudes and they don't really know who they are or whatever, how do we know that that's not taking place? Because dudes ain't gonna come out and tell us, right? But if a dude going both ways or whatever, or he pretending that he's straight and you sitting around smoking with him and you know what he been doing with his lips, or you don't know what he been doing with his lips, you can only imagine. A male can end up in the same situation. And I just want to put that on the table for young people, that you don't want to be sitting around smoking with everybody and put yourself in a position where you don't know what's going on. I just want to put that on the table, right?
And that goes right up there with punkish peer pressures, because there is active pressure coming from the LGBT, etc. community. It's not enough for them to have themselves. They're pressuring men, women, everybody at this point to join them.
Right.
So, yes.
I concur. And I my bad. I didn't even know if y'all could hear me clearly because I didn't have the mic in a proper position. But that's all I wanted to contribute, and hopefully that came through. So proceed.
It did. Thank you. We go ahead and go to the next slide. So this is, like I said, I'm breaking it down as if it's scientific. So take a step back. Think about the fact that we are vessels. African men specifically, because that's who this show is about. African male is a vessel that has at this point been shattered, has been impacted by Ma'afa. And that truth is never outside of the room when we talk on these issues. So there's a level of, from a Black woman's perspective, there's a level of sympathy that comes in when we look at our people and we say, this is not who we are. This is not who we are meant to be. There's a level of sympathy on, and you know, the grandmother used to say, poor child, you know, that boy touched, or, you know, there's a level of sympathy that at that point in time always came with it, because it's not right, and it's not typically their fault. It's definitely not our fault that we've been impacted by Ma'afa. To this point, we're choosing the hurt, we're choosing the struggle, but it is not on us that the Ma'afa occurred and so deeply impacted us. We can't expect for our people to have bounced back at any point, because it never stopped. There is no end date for Ma'afa to this point. Okay, so looking at the triangle as us being impacted by Ma'afa, and then adding on a Yurugu influence. So it's not enough that we were hurt. We are being directed in a specific terror zone. So I'm sure you all are familiar with this, you know, this image is light refracting. Either way, image is light coming through a prism and showing us a rainbow.
Yeah, being refracted.
Right, refracted. You know, right. So we're familiar with the concept, but I'm using it. Like I said, this is a working theory, so work with me. Just work with me, okay? Once we get to the rainbow, we have all different shades of gay. There is not just one type of gay person. There is not just one type of issue that we're dealing with. We can't look at the gay issue as, you know, we can't paint it with just one color. We have to paint it with different colors, and hopefully, if it's worth our time, we'll come to a solution for each one. I see what Brother Igor Rudolph said. I believe we have.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I just wanted to read that out. Ain't no black in the rainbow. That's all. That's all I want to say.
Technically, if we combine all of the colors, we do have the source of black. But I digress. Let's continue. There's one more slide that we can use, because we this gonna have to be like a part 2. I'm using every color. Every color is a type of gay, is a type of issue. I'm trying to break it down into threat levels, because I do see a silver lining in the issue. For me, the silver lining is the green. It's not just because it's my favorite color. Silver lining is green because there's a green area where we have children that have been impacted, and whether it just be at this point, just a social media is enough to push a child into mannerisms, or a lack of masculinity in their community, or actually being physically assaulted. These are all at this day and age, there's a plethora of ways that a young boy could not fully develop his masculinity. I put those circumstances in green, one, because there's still hope. I don't think we should be giving up on our boys. I don't think that I don't have the heart to give up on Black boys. And I don't want to put a specific age on it, as I know a lot of people would, and say, well, you know, about 15, that's kind of it. No, I truly believe that depending on the circumstance and depending on the willingness of the child, we should have programs. And I don't mean mentorship programs, because the word itself, mentorship, is coming from a Yoruba base that literally describes the relationship of a man attacking a young boy. There's a lot of Black people that feel like they're doing good for the community by running mentorship programs. And of course, I understand where they're coming from, but we have to completely, from the source, from the root, from the seed, from the asili, do things our African way. Because look how quick it is to go from, I want to do something true for my people, and then now I'm talking about mentor. And what does that mean? And all it takes is a little Black child to Google, and now he can't even fully trust the person that's right there trying to help him, because he looked up the definition and now he see, you know, it's just is we have to start from the core, doing things the right way. So correct, Jegna. We have to have programs. We have to have procedures for gays in the green. It's not only little Black boys. Of course, that for me, I'ma always struggle to just give up on a child. It's not in me. You have to get somebody else to do it. I can't do it. Yes.
That's why I'm here. Because someone's going to have to say those famous words, and you know the words that I'm talking about, so I'll let you do them.
Are you talking about my favorite words?
No, it's just two words. The first one is for, and what is the last one?
You talking about my favorite words? For good.
Exactly.
Somebody's gonna have to do something about them on the corner. I can't psychologize all of them on the corner. No, I look, what I'm saying is it's going to be the men ultimately that make that decision. But before we hand the boys over to the men, we need to have the procedures to see their heart from a complete ma'at balance, to decide the weight of their heart, the usefulness that our warriors have, because this is still our warrior class at the end of the day, which is why it tears on my heart so much so to just give up on the boys like this. We can't do it. We can't do it. And so the young boys, as far as those that are in the room, oh yes,
I'm so there are a lot of people going to disagree with what I'm about to say, but this is lived experience. When I was a member of the Nation of Islam, I began my studies as a teenager, and we went into the communities and we sought to save the people, right? And teach them and try to raise them out the muck and mud. And many times we were successful. But in reality, it may well have been just as efficient to cut out the cancer, because many of those people would go on to destroy the lives of a lot other people before they themselves were destroyed. And we could have short-circuited it by just initiating the destruction
Mhm.
beforehand. That's all I'm saying. So, as someone who has lived through that, and there may be some trauma there that I haven't addressed. We're seeing how the cancer can spread. Sometimes you just have to cut it out. Right? And some of those people that we dealt with were teenagers and were incorrigible. They are going to sell drugs, and they're going to sell drugs in that corner, and neither the Nation of Islam, the police, Allah, Jesus, Jehovah, Buddha, you know what I'm saying? Farrakhan, Khalid, whosoever was not going to stop them without some physical interaction taking place. And many times the physical interaction had to take place, just not to the level of a capital felony. Most of the time. You know what I'm saying? The statute of limitations of some things haven't run out. That's all I'm saying. So I understand what you're saying. I understand your point. But I do know that sometimes in these situations, and this situation is as much a plague as the crack epidemic was then. It's as much a plague now. Some hard decisions are going to have to be made. And that's all I want to contribute.
It's a valid perspective, and I agree with you. I truly do. And I wish that, we had done more at that point in time, so the situation would be different now. Ultimately, where I'm coming from when it comes to the youth, when it comes to the young boys, is the African proverb that says, and in regards to those that flame, they're gonna watch the whole village burn, and that's ultimately what we're seeing. If we neglect the trauma that's occurred, they're gonna turn around, they're gonna burn down the whole community, and they're actively doing it right now. So does that mean that we, confront them with hugs and kisses? No, but it is something to think about. It's something to consider. I really just want this to be looked at as a complex issue that requires an intricate solution. That's what I would like to see. Still speaking on the green, we're talking about the youth, the young boys, but we're also talking about I think there's a level of truth that oozes from our people, and sometimes we can see, especially now, this is a generational thing. We're not all of a sudden dealing with gay men. Gay men have been created from the 1800s now. Prior, even as far as like gay black men, this is something that has been cultivated. And so in my perspective, I can see gay men developing their mind past the flame, so past the desire, the perversion, basically, and finding themselves on the other side to look back and say, this is wrong, that's not right. I have seen examples of this recently with there's a gay comedian that was attacked because essentially what he said is that he does not want to die gay. He wants eventually to, I don't know what he's expecting to happen, but he said he doesn't want to die gay. He would like to eventually marry and see himself on the other side of this ailment. He himself is seeing it as an ailment, and he wants to see himself on the other side of it. To me, I can kind of see that as somebody that is suffering from an affliction and needs support. Now, I don't think that means we should use all of our Black resources to creating that support for that individual, or even if there was a group of individuals that decided they didn't want to be gay no more, they want to be delivered. I don't think we should be putting all of our efforts into that, but I do see where it would be to our benefit to it would be to our benefit to not put all gay people in flames. And I know there's a lot of people throughout the Caribbean that would disagree with me. I know that Brother DC most likely is going to disagree with me. But I'm coming from a place of love and passion for our people. I'm coming from the place of a child that has experienced, this new world where everything is gay. And we are how many chapters into the Ma'afa at this point? It is very possible that there's a way out, essentially, is what I would like to get to. There is a way out.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me say this.
Mhm.
This is an epiphany I had, right? And I'm not sure. This has not been developed. It was just a thought. I went to the Marcus Garvey event, right? I was thinking Marcus Garvey addressed the issues of the day. And, those who refuse to acknowledge the issues of this day will thus be ineffective in what they're trying to do. But my thought was that night, well, maybe that next morning, middle of the night, all right, someone is going to have to, not a person, an organization is going to have to come up with a de-inwardization and a de-feminization or a remasculinization program, health program, regiment, psychological regiment, physical health, spiritual cleansing. Like, I'm talking about on all levels and planes of existence, for people who, that, like you described, they're like, hey, I've been out here, what I'm doing, I recognize it's wrong, I was insane, I would like to become an African. We're going to need someone to develop a process to vanquish the demons that person had, and cleanse themselves physically, spiritually, in all types of ways, for them to possibly be allowed back to the community. The fundamental problem, of course, is the safety of the children. And y'all know I'm using my words carefully because we still on YouTube. I at least want the show to go up. We already not taking no money. Well, we already not getting no money from YouTube because we ain't got no ads, we ain't got no sponsors, we ain't got nothing. So whatever y'all send via Cashapp or whatever to the sister or to myself, either or, both, neither, that's all we getting. But I just came to that conclusion because, to me, being an N-word at this point, being N's and B's, is and the homosexualization are becoming more and more intertwined, so that if, as you attack one, you have to attack the other. You see what I'm saying? And so at some point you have to come with a scientific process to reverse the scientific process that has been imposed on us. That is a psycho-spiritual, biological, and chemical attack, and maybe some other attacks that I just haven't even thought of.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to interject that because you thought, and rightfully so, because I'm not Mr. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not Mr. Compassion. You know what I'm saying? I am not that. So, but I just want to put that on the table. And the sister had a question earlier. She says, do y'all think that gay men and women should date each other? Which I think, brother, you got ripped off. Answer that question. He said in the affirmative. Sister, do you have what would be your response to that?
I think whoever you can be your true self with, and you're not hiding nothing, and they're still loving you through it, I think that's who you should be with. And I don't think everybody needs a procreating relationship. There's a lot of people that have already resigned to not procreating, and I think that's perfectly fine. Don't do it. Not to say we don't need the numbers, but we don't need your numbers. We'll be okay without it. And if that's what's going to be the best thing for the community, then that's the best thing for the community. If you end up, if it's a gay man that decides they don't want to be gay anymore, and I seen that there's a influencer called the DL Whisperer, and he just recently came out as not being comfortable with being gay anymore. And I don't know if it's because the gay community completely turned on him, like if that's the reason why, or if he legitimately is feeling like he doesn't feel comfortable anymore. He mentioned something about, taking testosterone as if the hormones is what's going to change it. It seems like a great idea, but I don't think it's a complete idea. I don't think it's just a matter of hormones. I don't think it's just a matter of, just take it. That's the Frankenstein way that they've been doing things. They've been just like, we'll just chop that off of you and add some this and mix a little of that, and there you go. Now you're a woman, and that it doesn't work like that. There is a spiritual integration that occurs in creating life, and you're not going to just add some hormones and fix it. So I don't think that he's going to find a solution in that. At the same time, I think it's very important to note that there's a community of people. He's just the one that we see. Well, actually, I've mentioned two now. I've mentioned two black men that are on the other side of the fence now saying they want to come back. And a part of it is because of the social aspect of not being part of the crew anymore. Because it's a little bit like a bandwagon thing that they got going on. If you part of the LGBs, then, they got this a cult, essentially. There's a giant gang. And that's, we didn't even have enough time to discuss the literal gay gang. There's so many different topics to get into. So I think that it's important for us to pay attention to the way that things are swinging. Yes, go ahead.
No, I was just going to announce there's going to be a part 2 to this. I already see that, so I just want to let people know that now.
No way to not do it. Just answer the question that the sister said: should a gay man be with? I think, were you saying a gay man and a gay woman? I think that's what Brother You Got Ripped Off said. The ex-lesbians and the ex-gays be together. I don't know if, like I said, whoever you find within your arena and y'all actually click it off, because it's not just a simple thing. It's not like, you used to be gay, I did too, let's go ahead and marry. It's not that simple. You gotta be able to mesh with the person. You gotta find your complement. And I think that we all have good friends that compliment us, but you're only going to find the one person that's going to compliment you for life. And I do think it needs to be a straight situation. So is it
Is there?
possible? Maybe.
Can I ask a question though?
Go ahead.
You believe that there's only one person? Because I don't. I no longer subscribe to that theory just based off mathematics. But I just thought I would posit that
Do
question
a
to you.
whole nother show. You're trying to do a whole nother show. And that's not the show that we're doing today. I want to highlight as well a comment that somebody said Yurugu invests in research to weaponize chemicals and minerals. Minerals, I ain't heard that. Chemicals and minerals to produce homosexual behavior. We would have to invest in research to counter that method. I absolutely agree, but I think we should put a cap on the investment. I do not, and I want to repeat, no matter the amount of sympathy that I'm putting into this, I do not think we should be investing more than 20% of our resource and time towards these efforts. It is much quicker of a solution to let people be and only deal with the people that care to see. If you don't care to see, then why would I put resource towards you when, ammunition costs way less?
By the way, let me send greetings to Sister Raw Ito Vital. Good to see you here, sister. Go ahead, Sister Najai.
Oh, I see, brother, you got ripped off. I don't know if you said that first or if I said it first, but yes, best investment, 80% investment. 20% is the heart of, these are our people. They are, prisoner. We're all prisoners of war, but there's levels to it. People that are in the green, I see them as victims. We're all victims in a sense, but truly victimized victims. I think about, for example, James Baldwin, right? I put him in the green because I know that he was a young black boy that was attacked by a white man in a church. And living in, that point in time and in his type of environment, there was not a proper community that could love him away from those circumstances. That's how he ended up there. And then, that's what it was. Now,
We're going to agree to disagree. And that's all I'm going to do because we ain't got that much time. That's all. I just wanted to make that statement.
Well, you already said that it's the next show. So go ahead because I would like to know what it is that you disagree with.
I greatly despise him for his facilitating the assault on the character of our holy prophet Nat Turner. And that to me is an unforgivable sin.
You said Nat Turner?
Yes.
Oh, learn me something.
Oh, you don't know? His boyfriend William Styron wrote a book entitled The Confessions of Nat Turner, where they insinuated that our holy prophet Nat Turner was a homosexual, which was a slanderous lie. And it was such a lie that our grandmaster teacher, Dr. John Henry Clark, had to write a book countering that book and condemning it as a damnable lie. So yes, that's why I have
thank you.
Oh, you.
Thank you. I tried to give him.
No, I was saying you were aware of that.
No, you said his boyfriend was anytime, and I think the same thing about Angela Davis. Anytime a black, I don't even want to say revolutionary. Anytime a black person that speaks up, somebody that uses their voice, comes around, a white person finds themselves attached to them. Like, was it Nina Simone There was a black woman that sang.
Yeah, Nina Simone. She had a European. I think she had a child by a European. And
But
I was going to say, and what's name's boyfriend was William Styron.
So the story with Nina, if it is Nina Simone that I'm thinking about, she explained it as she was just out at lunch one day and a white man sat at her table and said that he was her husband. And then, she tried to get rid of him and she couldn't. I truly believe that is a COINTELPRO. They are going to attach themselves to black people that use their voice, and they're going to push them in any direction that they deem fit. So I did not know the story of that you're speaking about of Nat Turner, and I can completely accept you saying that it is unacceptable and you will not forgive him for that. The point that I was trying to make, why I mentioned him, is that he was able to not just be a voice, but a lot of people use James Baldwin in the same way that they'll use Malcolm X to say our intelligence outweighs our intelligence can outweigh the assault of Yurugu. I don't personally subscribe to, I don't see James Baldwin and think, ooh, that's, I'm not a fan in that sense, but I have to give a level of respect to anybody that can help black people see themselves as more than a slave.
But let me say this. That's what makes him so dangerous, because he speaks for cowards. Mm-hmm. Because Malcolm X is speaking with a machine gun in hand and went down to Mississippi with said machine gun just in case any work need to be put in. Robert F. Williams, we have men. We don't need bendovers to speak for us. Right? We got Huey P. Newton to speak for us. We got Malcolm X to speak for us. We got Elijah Muhammad to speak for us. We got Amos Wilson to speak for us. We got John Henry Clark to speak for us. We got Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakinen to speak for us. And I'm Marcus Garvey. Right? So that's why people like that are dangerous, because they're saying one thing while bending over and doing another. And that gives the Europeans in the future a chance to point our people in the direction of that person and point them away from someone like Robert F. Williams, who wrote Negroes with Guns at a time where stating publicly, hey man, we just, the solution to this violence is violence. You see what I'm saying? Just straight to the point, not even a lot of eloquent dialogue about it, just straight talk and straight action. So that's why I'm saying people like James Baldwin are dangerous, because they take our people away from people who have very simple solutions to sometimes simple problems, which some of the problems in the 50s were a lot more simple than we want to accept.
That's where the balance comes in, because in addition to the knowledge that I did not have on him, your perspective, when once handed over to the men, he didn't make the cut. So I guess that's just not going to work. When I think about James Baldwin, I think about recently.
Let me get this brother super chat real quick. Okay. James Baldwin spent his career complaining about racism, but had relationships with the enforcers of said system, including, as brother you got ripped off said, a suspected small hat. So thank you, brother KW Don, for that. Okay, sister, you can continue.
I was gonna say that he reminds me of the young brother that got killed. Uh, maybe I don't know how long ago, 5-10 years ago now. I think his name was Elijah McCoy. Was a young brother. I'm not gonna say he was in the community, but he's the archetype of like skinny, nerdy, soft, right? Do you all remember that? The police came up and essentially they killed him, I think, just by suffocating him. And one of the things that he was saying is, as he, because we got it all on the cam, he was saying, the young brother Elijah was saying, it's not me, I'm not like them. He's separating himself from the kind of men that you just listed, Brother DC, men that can speak for the whole community. He's separating himself because at this point, anybody that has eyes to see knows that if you're a strong, tall black man that's smart, speak his mind, and has no worries about looking a white man in the eye and telling him no, you're a threat. So this brother Elijah was trying to not be a threat, and most likely that's something that he's been doing his whole life, and something that was McLean, Elijah McLean, thank you. That's something that is passed down by the community, to not be a threat. That's another point as far as the green. The issue of single mothers, the issue, not even all the time single mothers, just mothers in general, because there's plenty of situations where there is a man in the house, but the woman is so overbearing with her love that the man can't really, provided the mother's in the room, he can't really father the child. He can't really raise the child up to be anything other than what the mother feels is safe. And there's a level of here I go again, there's a level of compassion. Of course we want our children to be safe. It's a real threat. They walk out these doors, we send them to where God knows where we sending them. And we know who's out here trying to kill him. Black people still getting lynched to this day. So I send my child out, and I know he got a mouth on him, and I know he's strong, and he gonna look a Yorugu in the eye and call him that. And there's a level of fear that a lot of Black women have put into the community, and it is a sickness. It's a snowball effect that has just gotten worse over the years.
Yeah, sister, I just want to let you know, got about a 5-minute countdown. So will you be available next week to continue this next Thursday?
I believe so.
Okay, well, I've tentatively put up a part 2, but do you have some more on this slide, or you have something you want to? You have another slide, or what? How you want to take on the next?
No more slides. No more slides. If it's just 5 minutes, I guess we could just look to the audience if there's anybody here that had any questions or any comments, concerns, and kind of give me some feedback on the general theme that I'm structuring. Because like I said, it's a living, working theory. I would like for it to be useful and not just something that weighs my mind day and night. Would like to see that it actually becomes something that we can use, because as we mentioned even on this show, that we do need something, some kind of protocol, some kind of method by which we are viewing people and creating solutions, whether that be the solution of munitions or the solution of a structure, a program. Could very well just be people need to be in the woods for a couple months. Come out delivered. Brother, you got ripped.
I will. Okay, I was just gonna say this real quick. First of all, I think it is very. I know the type of time and thought you put into it, and I thought that, the part that I saw was very comprehensive. You haven't. I mean, we just really kind of scratched the surface right here. I just wanted to compliment you for your organization and your in-depth thought on the subject matter and the work that you put into it. So I just wanted to say that.
Asante. Asante Sana. And this is definitely this is late. This is us just barely making it in at the end of Black August, because we were supposed to do this show how many months ago? We were supposed to do it a while ago, but I have been lifing and trying to prepare other things for the people, because like I said, this effort here is 20%. We cannot put all of our eggs in the basket of trying to regroup people or recenter people. This is just a 20% effort. And so honestly, this show did have to go on the back burner. It really did. What was on the forefront is, of course, survival every day. I'm a mother, but as well, I'm a educator for anyone, not just those that are home educated. If your child is in public school, they need to be in my class. If you know children that have, because it can be self-paced, it can be live. It is get it how you can get it kind of information that is designed to. Actually, how much time I got? Can I talk about the class? Do I have the time?
You got 2 minutes. How about you?
Nah, I don't got the time.
Yeah, how about you save it, and I'll take that and I'll put it up on the page as its own video.
Okay. All right. Well, Karibu everyone, and Asante Sana for having me back.
All right, we're gonna give Sister Najai another round of applause. Thank you so much for your presentation. We'll try to come on next Thursday at 7:00 and finish up with the program and the subject. And if we missed anyone's questions or comments, because I know we did, once I realized we were running short, we will definitely try to address those. So I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Of course, I'm your host, DC Radical 1. Sister Najai didn't get a chance to put her information up, but you can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_ONE, and of course here on YouTube. Also, you would like to contribute to the program, you can contribute $DC Radical 1, all one word. And Sister Najai, what is your put your Cash App in the comment section, please.
My Cash App is right there on the screen. $NEFR NEFERNAJAI.
Right.
So if you were to take down the presentation and just see our pictures, it's right there.
Okay, so if we take it down, if we make our pictures bigger, like that, or that, there we go. So with that, brother says, when and where is my program, brother? We shall see. I got to figure that out, because I had wanted to see what the sister would was contributing. So we'll see how this goes. And like I said, we'll try to come back in next week. Still trying to figure out what Sister Najai got Janet Jackson as her avatar, but I'll ask her that later. But again, I thank you all for welcoming us back, and we'll be back next week, and the center will probably be back next week as well, either Tuesday or Wednesday. So with that, I say a BB for ODA and straight black. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical, the numeral 1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cashapp is $DC Radical 1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight